A thorough assessment of the November 26, 2024 episode of Mega Maniacs podcast. The November 26, 2024 episode of the Mega Maniacs podcast, hosted by Robin Torgrimson and featuring guest Daniel, represents an unflinching critique of abusive power structures, manipulative leadership, and institutional failings within religious environments. The episode, aptly titled From Prodigy to Pariah, A Journey of Resilience and Redemption, dives deeply into Daniel's personal story, exposing systemic flaws within Valor Christian College, World Harvest Church, and their associated leadership while underscoring themes of personal authenticity and resilience. This assessment not only supports the courage of Robin and Daniel in their mission to foster truth and healing, but also condemns the environments they discuss for perpetuating harm under the guise of faith. Key takeaways from the episode 1. Systemic failures of Valor Christian College. Daniel's recollections of his time at Valor Christian College reveal an institution steeped in authoritarian control, idolization of leadership, and stifling conformity. From the outset, the school failed to deliver on its stated mission of fostering individual spiritual growth. Instead, it operated more as a hierarchical system designed to enforce obedience, limit independence, and prioritize the glorification of figures like Rod Parsley over genuine mentorship. Culture of fear and control. One of the most chilling aspects of Daniel's account was the oppressive culture fostered by Rod Parsley and other senior leaders. The intense reprimand Daniel received for visiting his father's church, complete with an intimidating speakerphone call from Parsley, showcased the toxic micromanagement and cult-like control mechanisms. This type of behavior is anathema to the principles of Christian mentorship, which should prioritize guidance, love, and understanding over coercion. Institutional idolization of leadership. Students were implicitly encouraged to idolize Parsley, with anecdotes of peers quoting him more frequently than scripture. Daniel's account of students striving to emulate Parsley's mannerisms and ministry style speaks to a dangerous deification of leaders, leaving little room for personal faith development. Instead of nurturing spiritual individuality, the institution demanded conformity to an image crafted by its leadership. 2. The exploitation of talent. Daniel's significant musical and ministry skills were exploited by the leadership at Valor Christian College and World Harvest Church. While his initial foray into the worship team brought moments of fulfillment, it soon became clear that his talents were valued more as a tool for institutional gain than for his own spiritual growth. Instrumentalizing spiritual gifts. Daniel's story of playing music for hours during prayer sessions, only to later receive little recognition or support, underscores the exploitative nature of the institution. His gradual realization that students were treated as replaceable parts in a machine, validated by the late Elder Thomas Bender's candid warning that World Harvest would simply find someone else when one person left, highlights the dehumanizing aspects of this environment. Emotional manipulation. Rod Parsley's sporadic and calculated attention toward Daniel, including a surprising invitation to exchange phone numbers and attend a soccer game, seemed more about consolidating control than genuine care. This pattern reflects a broader issue of how leaders in such environments use selective attention to manipulate and maintain loyalty. 3. Punishment for independence. The podcast sheds light on the punitive measures taken against individuals who deviate from prescribed norms. Daniel's involvement with the Wave Ministries and his decision to leave Valor sparked a vindictive response, ranging from public shaming to enforced isolation. Excommunication and slander. The deliberate ostracization of Daniel, culminating in his removal from campus during a candlelight vigil for his mentor, Elder Bender, is one of the episode's most appalling revelations. The further threats made against students who associated with him reveal a vindictive, cult-like enforcement of loyalty at the expense of compassion and Christian values. Cult dynamics. The parallels drawn between the institution's behavior and that of cults are deeply unsettling. From cutting off friendships to enforcing strict loyalty pledges, the methods employed by Valor Christian College and World Harvest Church are antithetical to the inclusive and forgiving spirit of Christianity. 4. Mismanagement of grief and support. The episode highlights the institution's failure to provide emotional and spiritual support during times of personal loss. Daniel's devastation following the death of his mentor, Elder Bender, was compounded by the institution's inability or unwillingness to address his grief compassionately. Elder Bender's influence and legacy. Bender's mentorship was one of the few sources of authentic spiritual guidance in Daniel's experience. His advice to follow his heart and prioritize peace starkly contrasted with the institution's demands for blind obedience. Bender's death not only robbed Daniel of a mentor, but also exposed the shallow nature of the institution's pastoral care. Manipulation. During vulnerability, the institution's response to Daniel's grief and decision to leave Valor was punitive rather than supportive. Instead of extending grace, leadership exploited his vulnerable state to maintain control over his narrative and isolate him further. 5. Courage in recovery and authenticity. Despite the institutional harm he endured, Daniel's journey of recovery, as recounted in the episode, is a testament to his resilience and determination to live authentically. His struggles with addiction, exacerbated by the mental health toll of his time at Valor, are a sobering reminder of the damage such environments can inflict. The role of community. The support Daniel received from friends outside the institution played a pivotal role in his recovery. His eventual decision to leave the toxic environment of Valor and pursue healing demonstrates the importance of finding authentic, supportive communities. Faith and authenticity. One of the most inspiring aspects of the episode is Daniel's renewed relationship with faith, built on authenticity rather than institutional expectations. His courage in sharing his story serves as a beacon of hope for others who may be struggling with similar challenges. A condemnation of institutional hypocrisy. The November 26th episode of Maniacs podcast does not merely tell a personal story. It serves as an indictment of the systemic hypocrisy and moral failures of Valor Christian College, World Harvest Church, and their leadership. The following points encapsulate the most egregious aspects of the institution's behavior. 1. Exploitation of faith for control. The institution used faith as a tool to manipulate and control its members, enforcing conformity and punishing individuality. 2. Failure of pastoral leadership. Rod Parsley's leadership style, characterized by fear-mongering and emotional manipulation, failed to embody the principles of compassion and guidance central to Christianity. 3. Lack of accountability. The institution's inability to acknowledge or address its systemic issues underscores its prioritization of image over integrity. 4. Moral and emotional harm. The punitive actions taken against Daniel, including ostracization and slander, reveal a disregard for the emotional and spiritual well-being of its members. Conclusion: a call to action. This episode of the Maniacs podcast stands as a vital exposé of the harm that can be wrought by unchecked institutional power within religious settings. Robin Torgrimson and Daniel have performed an invaluable service by shedding light on these issues, and their courage deserves widespread recognition. To those who continue to support such institutions uncritically, this episode serves as a call to action. To demand accountability, prioritize compassion, and remember that the true essence of faith lies in love, not control. For listeners, it is a reminder that resilience and authenticity can prevail, even in the face of profound adversity.